We just got off our Disney cruise on the Disney Dream. And while all the things are still fresh in my mind, I want to give you all of the tips and my honest review on how the experience was and was it worth the money for the Disney cruise. And so we cruised on the Disney Dream, which was an amazing ship. It was our first time cruising and we loved it. And so getting on the ship was fairly easy with the COVID testing and everything else. For us, it went pretty smooth. So you had to upload proof of vaccination and everything else into a portal, which was fairly easy. And then when we arrived, we had to go get a COVID test. And now those 20 minutes or 30 minutes or however long it was is always nerve-wracking because your whole trip is resting on whether or not this thing comes back positive or negative. So we got our clear to sail. COVID test came back negative, and we're walking on to the ship. Or we're going to the terminal. You park here, walk across to the terminal, and then hopefully we'll get on the ship. So we were fine. We did our COVID test, then we headed to the terminal. And the terminal is nice, and we were there a little early, so we probably waited a little longer than we normally would have. And then we went on the ship. Now, Disney cruises are known for their great welcoming where they say your family name and you walk in and Mickey and Minnie are there and everybody's cheering and clapping for you. And honestly, for our 7-year-old, it is a really magical way to start this trip. I mean, this was her first time on a cruise, and just to walk on the ship with that great greeting definitely is an extra thing that really is that Disney magic that people are willing to pay extra for. So here are my tips for that first day when you get on the boat. First, if you have kids, get to the open house for the kids club. Based on their age, they've got the different places they can go, but get there early and check them in, get them registered. For us, it was our first time cruising and it was our daughter's first time cruising. So it was important for me to get her there so she could see the place. And then they also have staff members that are there. And so I introduced myself to the staff member. I introduced my daughter to the staff member just so we could get a comfort level there. So we felt more comfortable dropping her off there later. And let me tell you, she loved it and she wanted to go there all the time and it was fantastic. But I think getting her checked in early, being able to walk around the place with her and introducing her to a cast member helped out a lot. The other thing is a lot of the things are booked up on the app. Like when you look at Remy and Palo and you look at the spa and the different things that are on the ship, a lot of them are booked up. Like the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, that's usually always booked up. But if you go to the place and you go to the desk, a lot of times there's openings that aren't on the app. And so we didn't have a reservation at Remy, but we got one. And we went earlier, right, than our reservation. They still sat us. We got a couples massage at the spa when there weren't any available on the app. Another thing we were lucky enough to do was the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, which for me was not something on the top of my list, but I kept seeing these little girls go by in their cute princess outfits. And I said, I know Alice would love to do it. And I never thought it was worth the money. It just seemed very expensive for just putting a dress on the girl. But what they did there and how much Alice loved that transformation into being a princess. In the pictures, oh my goodness, how many great pictures we got. For us, it was definitely worth it. We loved the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. The other thing is it was sold out for pretty much every day when we were getting on the ship and everything else, but we walked down again to the actual location and asked them if they had any availability. And guess what? They did. And so we got to sneak her in, which was a ton of fun. And I'm glad we did it. And so those are my 2 tips for that first thing you do when you get on the ship. Go get the kids checked in the kids club and then go walk up to some of these places that you want to see that maybe don't have reservations on the app, or even changing a reservation that you already have. There's a lot more flexibility once you get on the ship. So the next thing I want to talk about is dining. And dining for me was a huge win. I loved dining on the Disney Dream. Now, the reason is we are Disney park people, and the amount of stress and planning that goes into dining at a Disney park is crazy. I love Disney World. I love the restaurants, but trying to get a reservation and then plan to be at World Showcase at Epcot at 7, right? It's just like a lot of stress that goes into it. And so dining on the Disney Dream was really easy. They have their main restaurants for dinners, and you have your time, you show up and you just show up and have your dinner. They also have rotating servers. What that means is you have the same team of servers at each restaurant you go to. And this is really fantastic because they get to know your family. They get to know like what your family likes. And our servers were great. And just to see that personalized service when they see Princess Alice every night, it was really, really cool. And so I really loved that part of the dining. So on the Disney Dream, you're gonna have 3 main dining rooms, and food quality on them is all about the same. We didn't really see a big difference in food quality at any of the main dining halls, but what you do have is different theming and different things going on. And so you do wanna make sure you get to all of them. So if you are gonna do Remy or Palo, what I would recommend is that you look at the nights that maybe you have a double. So maybe you're eating at Animator's Palette twice. I would book it on a night that you're eating at the same place. That way you make sure you see all the different restaurants, because you're gonna have Animator's Palette, Royal Palace, and the Enchanted Garden. And they're all different and they're all fun and the food is all about the same. And you just wanna make sure you get to experience all of them. I will say too, make sure you're on time for your meal, because they do have little shows and different little things that you get to experience. And we showed up late our first night there and we totally missed all the stuff they do at Animator's Palette. So show up on time. The other thing I would recommend is not skipping the buffet at Cabanas. We went there for a meal and it was really good. And we went there, I think on our last day, because I don't know, we just kept skipping it. But Cabanas, the buffet, really good spread of food, really good, fresh, good stuff. One of the best buffets I've ever been to. The other one you have is Flo's Cafe, which is a quick service for snack. You do get all you can eat ice cream, which we loved. Being able to just go and get a cone of ice cream was one of our favorite things. And we also did love Vanellope's. So there is this cool cupcake, candy, ice cream store called Vanellope's, and it's a lot of fun. And we went there twice. I'm also going to encourage you to book Palo or Remy if you do really enjoy dining, because that was one of the better meals we've had. And it was just really high quality, really high service. And it was one of our favorite things we did. And what's great is you have the kids club. So, you know, you can make sure kids get something to eat at Cabanas or something else and make sure they're fed, send them off to kids club and go enjoy yourself a nice dinner at Remy or Palo. And then you have the bars and lounges, which, you know, is different vibes. They're all fairly small. They're not very large bars and lounges, but they're a good space with different themes. And so if you do like grabbing a drink, there's just a lot to pick from. I'm not going to dive into details on all of them. Just know that if you do want to relax and have a drink, plenty of places to go. And a hidden spot that I love is the Vista Cafe. It's on the 4th deck and you can walk right by it and miss it. But they had the most delicious coffee beverage that I've had in a long time. And so don't miss Vista Cafe. Look at the cool menu they have of the cool drinks and get whatever the ridiculous coffee thing I ordered was. It was amazing. It was delicious. And I'm the worst YouTuber for not remembering what it was called, but get over there and ask them and I'm sure that you'll figure it out. All right, let's talk about the room. We got a room with a veranda, which is a little bit of an upgrade, but for us, I think it was worth it. Having that little balcony to sit out on was really, really nice. Now, let's talk about the room itself. Most of these rooms are set up very similar in that you're gonna have your main queen or full-size bed with a couch, and the couch converts into a sleeper, and then you've got a little desk area and a little TV. That's how most of the veranda rooms are set up. Another unique thing about the Disney rooms that I really loved and thought was really smart was the fact that you have 2 different bathrooms. You've got a toilet and a sink and the shower and the sink in 2 different rooms. And so if somebody was taking a shower, I could still brush my teeth. And if somebody was going to the bathroom, I could brush my teeth in the other one. So having those 2 made a ton of sense. And I think it helped out a bunch, since if there's 3 or 4 people in the same room, bathroom utilization can get a little tricky. So the 2 bathroom thing is just genius on Disney's part. But we loved being able to go sit every morning and look out to see if we were in port or not, and just look out at the ocean every night. And so we really loved our Disney Dream cabin.
I don't know about you, Tim, being in here, but this fits me perfect. Let's see you in there. Alice, go look at that.
What?
Go ahead.
What do you think, Alice?
What?
Let's go see Daddy in that shower.
It's yeah, it's a little
Big.
It's a little short.
Can I try?
Yeah.
It's perfect for Alice.
And we'll be like, yeah.
Awesome. There you go.
So the next thing I want to talk about on this review is Castaway Cay, because that is a big part of Disney cruises in the Bahamas. And Castaway Cay is Disney's own island. They own an island in the Bahamas, and they've just made it a little paradise to stop off at and spend the day. So here are a couple tips. One is if they still have a boat queue like they did for us, they have a queue that you can join to get off the boat. Join early, and then maybe even go down before your number's called, because we kind of slipped out with everybody, and it worked out that we got off the boat a little bit earlier than our queue time. And getting to the beach early is really important to getting a good spot on the beach. And it gave us a ton of time to get some good swimming in, and Alice got to play in the water before all the other people showed up. And so that felt great. And, you know, I don't feel like we saw the entire island while we were there, because it's a very big island, but getting a good spot on the beach and just relaxing was a ton of fun. So when you do get there, I recommend going all the way down and heading to the beach where the slides are. It's the second beach off the boat. There's like one beach that has the snorkel area. It's right next to where all of the boat and paddleboard rentals are. And then if you go past that one, there's another beach with the slides and everything that are floating out there. And I think it's a little bit smaller. But one thing we found was it was a little windy the day we were there. And that first beach kind of caught all the wind, and then there was a lot less waves and less wind at the second beach. So I recommend going to the second beach. And we also noticed the next beach over, which is roped off, is the private cabana beach. And that one was like empty. So if you want an empty beach and you want the whole place to yourself, definitely get a private cabana, but those do sell out super quick. So you're gonna have to fight hard to get one. But if you can get one, the beach is empty. So the thing that we loved about Castaway Cay, the slides were cool. I loved snorkeling down and seeing the little things there, because I do love to swim. And so that was a bunch of fun. The food was pretty good. I mean, it was what you would expect a Disney lunch out on an island would be. I mean, like we had cheeseburgers that were okay. But again, it was just Disney feel on an island in the Bahamas. And that's what we loved so much about Castaway Cay. I'm actually looking to book a cruise that has 2 days at Castaway Cay, because that's how much I loved it. And, you know, I would look at maybe renting a paddle boat or something else for an excursion if you wanted to do that. I would definitely recommend, if it's in your budget, you could pull one off and you have a larger group, cabana would probably be amazing. And other than that, I would just recommend getting ready to relax and enjoy yourself, because Castaway Cay is a ton of fun. I also want to talk about Blue Lagoon real quick. So Nassau, Bahamas is a stop that a lot of the cruises take, and the Blue Lagoon is an area that a lot of people go to for their excursion, and we did too. And so when you get up to go for an excursion like this, we go to like a waiting room theater area, and that is the area where we wait. They get you all together. You get off the boat, you get on the other excursion boat, not a Disney boat, that takes you over to the Blue Lagoon. And by the time we got there, the place was really cool, but it did just take us a little while to get there. And you definitely are no longer on a Disney cruise line when you're getting over there on the boat. But ultimately, I mean, the Blue Lagoon was a pretty cool beach. And if being able to go and relax on a beautiful beach is important to you, I think it's worth the money. I mean, it's kind of tough because it's a little bit pricey for the boat ride and whatnot just to go sit on the beach, but it was worth it for us. I don't know if we would do it again, but we definitely enjoyed our time there. They also have dolphin encounters there. That's like the big thing too on their excursions. And we could see the dolphin encounters. They were just on the other side of the dock and they looked like fun. I mean, it's a pretty large group that, you know, is seeing a dolphin. So I'm sure that's pretty fun, but it's not like a private dolphin encounter like we've done at SeaWorld before. It's definitely a larger group. But again, if it's something you want to do and the price is right for you, I would definitely think about doing it, because I have heard there's not a ton of other things to do at Nassau. So a lot of people stay on the boat and just enjoy all of the things that are on the humongous Disney Dream. Another Disney Dream tip is definitely grab the detective agency game early. So there's this game where your kid will get a card, and then there are these different frame pictures throughout the ship that are actually an interactive game. And so they have to go on the map and find where a picture is, and then go up to like deck 9 aft in the back of the ship and find the thing and play their game. But what's fun about it for the kids is it was a great way for our daughter to figure out how to get around the ship. Like by next time we go on the Disney Dream, I feel like she'll know her way around. And a lot of that is because of that game. Like she had to find all of the different pictures on all of the different decks. And that was a ton of fun. I'd also recommend that maybe you bring a sound machine. It was a little loud on 2 of the nights we were there, and we did have trouble getting to sleep. And so looking back on it, I wish we had a sound machine to help us out with the noise. You know, an overall tip is to get to things early. Like if you get to things when they first open, like the aqueduct, which is a bunch of fun, the pool, like everything tends to be less busy early. And then their line for the aqueduct tends to build later in the day. So we're not really late night people. We didn't really stay out late and do many of the fun nightclub activities or anything like that, which allowed us to kind of get up early and make sure we were early to things. And that helps out a bunch. So you're not waiting around as long for stuff. So digging into some more Disney Dream tips, I would say definitely get acquainted with the app as soon as you can. Just like a lot of other Disney parks and Disney cruise things, if you're familiar with how to use the app, your whole trip is going to go a lot better. So figure out how to use the app. Another thing is I would recommend bringing a good bag with you that you're going to take to the pool and take on your excursions and take off the ship. Having a good travel bag that you can put stuff in for the day is definitely a good thing to have. Another tip would be to make sure you get to a show. The shows that we went to were amazing. We only went to one, and now I'm really mad we didn't go to the other one. There's a lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of ways you can miss going to the shows, but I really am harping on it. The shows are amazing. So I know the kid may be tired. I know a lot of things. Do what you can to make a show. They're awesome. Another thing I'd recommend you do is ask for stuff. The Disney Dream Cruise staff is so accommodating. They were amazing. And you never know what you'll get if you ask for it. So like we went up to get reservations at places that were booked and we got in. We requested a table location and we got it. Like you can request things and see what happens. So definitely have some good asks. Let's also talk about the internet, because I know for a lot of people that having internet and access to it is important. So I paid for the internet package. We do run a business, and although it was a great time to unplug, I needed a little bit of connection just in case anything happened. And so the internet that you pay for is going to be slow. I could send text messages, I could get emails, but not like images. Like images and some of the other stuff weren't gonna fly. And so you can have internet that's pretty good, but don't bank on being able to send pictures, videos, and other stuff with any type of reliability. Another thing is your cabin door. They're metal. And so a lot of people decorate their doors with magnets. And so we had Macy family magnets and other people had all sorts of cool stuff, but decorating your door is a ton of fun. Another thing you're going to see on the Disney Dream are the picture packages and the photographers and everything else. Look, the picture package is pricey. It definitely is. But I would recommend, if you're going to commit to getting the picture package, go and get as many of those pictures as you can. So they have photographers on Castaway Cay, and a couple of them we walked by. But if I had known we were going to buy the picture package, I would have made sure I got a picture with every single one of those photographers, because they do take great pictures. And on something like Castaway Cay, where you may not have your cell phone with you because you may be going in the water and, all sorts of different stuff, it's great just to know that they have photographers there. Get the pictures, get the great picture from the photographer, and make your life a lot easier. Another thing may be of value to you if you really love having great pictures. Now, one of the big questions I have to answer on this video is, was it worth it? There are a lot of other cruise ships out there and a lot of other great companies that do cruises that are a lot cheaper than Disney. Disney is one of, if not the most expensive cruise line in the industry. And the question is was it worth paying that much more when we could have gone on a Royal Caribbean cruise for half the price, or maybe a little more than half the price? The answer for us as Disney park people and first-time cruisers, I think yes, because of the fact that we felt comfortable knowing we were taking our first cruise, but we were still going to get the Disney experience. And the Disney experience is everywhere on the ship. The pictures with the characters, the pirate theme party, the fireworks, like there's so much Disney going on the ship. You're just not going to get that at a Royal Caribbean cruise. And so that's the question on, is it worth it or not? Is having that Disney experience for the kids, do their eyes light up when they see Mickey Mouse and everything else? That tells you whether or not it's worth it. So that's my review of the Disney Dream. And I will say two things. One, we're booking a Royal Caribbean cruise to see the difference. I want to see if the Disney difference is worth it. And two, we're probably going to book another Disney cruise. I loved it. I am going to say on the record, I liked it more than the parks. Way more relaxing, way more fun, and one of my favorite vacations we've ever done. So if you're on the fence about taking a cruise on the Disney Dream, get off the fence, hit the button, book the cruise. You won't regret it. Pirate night.
Just broke out of prison.
Prison Phon.
I'm about to go to prison.
Oh, okay. About to go for mission jury duty on Monday.
Oh, yeah. What's happening? Should I call it?
No, just don't show up. That's how we roll. Prison Phon.
I'm going to keep this and just roll up like this.
Worst things.
My bug shot will be with this.
What's the worst part of prison?
No.
The Dementors.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.